returning them?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, roll call.
Ready to take roll? Okay. All right, Chair Gary Delvaux,
Here.
Vice Chair Matt Schuler,
Here.
Alderperson Barb Dorf,
Here.
Jim Bloomreck,
Here.
Kathy Hinkfist, and Melanie Parma asked to be excused.
Okay, before we start the actual agenda, as everybody knows, since our last meeting, we lost a great member in Harry Meyer. He was a great leader on our committee, very fair and consistent, always encouraged our committee members to ask questions and make comments about the issues. His heart was always in the right place, very non-political, always was looking out what was best for the city and the community at large. He's liked by everyone. I always said if you didn't like Harry, you don't like anybody. All of us were with him a number of years, so obviously got to be very close friends to all of us, and will be greatly missed. I'd like the members, if you want to add comments, please do.
There was one comment I had read on Twitter about Harry after his passing, and that comment was, using one word, how would you describe Harry, and it was genuine.
Yeah, he'll be missed by all. It was unbelievable news. I really couldn't comprehend it, right, when I heard the news that Harry had passed. And, you know, every year I've been on the RDA, right, Harry has been a member, so I will miss him greatly.
In honor of Harry, I'd like to do a moment of silence, if you mind. Thank you. Thank you. Motion for approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
So now we have to vote on the machine there, right? Agenda.
You can do voice.
I think
Do
we
you wanna
need
do a
voice
voice
votes on
Read the
it.
voice
Yeah.
votes on the agenda.
Oh,
Agenda
no, still, okay,
yeah.
all in favor, saying aye.
Aye.
So carried. And approval of minutes from April 10th.
So moved.
Second?
A motion and a second to approve the minutes from April 10th. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so carried. Regular business. Number 1, selection members to serve on various subcommittees. That is on.
Pardon me?
There's a little thing that pushes down underneath it.
Thank you.
So do we? I have a hard copy on here. It must be on there too somewhere.
You just press on it.
Oh. You have it?
Press on the agenda item and then it'll pop up.
Oh, I gotcha.
I think you have to get it
All right,
in. Or.
I gotcha. We're trainable. We'll get this. I'll guarantee you.
You guys are doing great.
I did,
No.
Maybe that's
Do you have it?
What is it?
Yeah.
Should we, yep, it's the dock.
Oh,
Go back one,
okay.
back up. Yep,
Right
use your
here?
back arrow,
Yep.
yep. And then there should be a second.
Then I think if you click into here.
Oh, gotcha. No, I kind of did. Oh, yeah.
That's perfect.
And then, not the PDF, but the docs.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. All right, is everybody in tune to our subcommittee list? Cheryl and I talked about it and kind of come up with these names, subject to change if people have other preferences. Obviously, the funding committee and the real estate subcommittees don't meet real often, actually haven't met for a little while. The revolving loan's a little bit more busy, and whatever's decided comes back to the full committee anyway. So, and we will add Kathy to that vacancy probably, the one vacant spot. Are there any comments or suggestions in regard to subcommittees? I'm not on any of them, so if you don't have a quorum, they'll give me a call, I'll be there, how's that? That's how we'll do it. Any thoughts or suggestions? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to accept them.
Just so you know, the funding admin committee is, we generally call that when we're looking at block grant projects. We do an annual action plan if we go for requests for proposals, for example, on public services or something to that effect. We'll take it to that funding admin subcommittee first with a recommendation to the full RDA.
Okay.
The real estate subcommittee, we really haven't met a lot. I think we'd probably call that one if we had, you know, a huge amount of acquisitions, let's say, that we wanted to go through individually, and it would take a little bit longer.
Right.
We try to bring them here if we don't
Right.
have a whole lot of them, because I don't want you to bring you in for 2 meetings, so that's why we haven't done a lot, but.
They're kind of working committees.
Right.
You know, so they flush out the details and then bring it back to the full committee. I entertain motion to accept,
Also move.
motion by Jim,
Second.
second by Matt. Now, we have to vote on this?
No, where do we go?
Still vote? Yeah, we vote on this now? Okay. So I must go back.
Yep,
Where do we vote again?
it'll pop up. It should pop up.
Oh, here, okay, there we go, right, good. And hit save after that?
Then say,
Does it tell me how the vote went?
Okay, it passed. I see that it passed.
Right, pardon?
Can you announce the number? It was unanimous or?
Unanimous.
Okay,
and we could still voice vote, so rep.com gets it.
Okay.
so, okay, so all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
We don't have to do a second vote. He's saying that we can do that.
Okay.
But it's appropriate if you have something like this that we should be using the tablets. We just need Lisa to announce the vote.
Oh, okay, okay, so you'll tell us the results.
Sure.
All right.
We will wait in suspense.
Yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure. All right, agenda item number 2, consider with possible action to approve a request for proposals for purchase and redevelopment Adams Street lot located on 200 block of North Adams Street. Who's gonna give us that, Cheryl? Who's gonna
Nope.
give it?
Nope. We are going to have Aaron Rosnick present on this. It's a team
Okay.
effort, but I think Aaron's going to provide some information on what we've come up with and where we'd like to go with this piece of property.
Right here.
Maybe-
Come right here.
Yep, sit right up.
Warm it up for you.
All right, hello, I'm Erin Rosnick, design specialist for the department. So we would like to put out a request for proposals for the Adams Street parking lot on the 200 block of North Adams at Cherry Street. You can see it up on that map over there. It's right by the Bay Lake building. And it's also the spot where that plaza is. So we would like to put out an RFP for redevelopment for mixed-use development on that site. And it would be commercial and residential. That's what we have as our preference in the RFP. So we would, what's currently there is parking lot. It's been like that for a while, although there were buildings on there before. So these are RDA properties. We would keep the plaza there. And in here we have kind of put out what's in the narrative, and also, since this was part of the 2014 Authenticity Plan, which is the downtown district plan, we did include some design guidelines, design considerations, our strategy, economic and community development strategy. So with this, if we were to put it out immediately, we would then ask for proposals to be submitted by the end of August, and then staff recommendation would come before the RDA at the September meeting.
What are some type of projects you expect to come, be presented on this property? What are some things that you're expecting?
We would like something that's like a downtown development with mixed use, first floor, commercial tenant, or multiple, probably residential above. We have in here limiting 4 stories, so it would be an urban development, and we have parking requirements in there too.
100 spaces, I know. How many spaces are in there now?
121.
So we lose 21. If it met the minimum requirements.
Yeah. So the public city lot would, was the parking, or use it for other places.
Yeah, in this conversation we had with parking, utility, public works, I mean, this lot gets used pretty frequently and often, so wanted the proposal that these spaces would somehow be kind of reintegrated into the design, because there is a lot of use and there's a lot of turnover in it as well. So that there's still some type of public parking amenity in addition to anything that may be done for the development specific, that there's still some public parking uses that are part of this.
It's an exciting piece of property. I would guess there'd be lots of interest. I hope so. Pretty prime property.
I mean, I think that's what prompted this conversation. Look, I mean, our market's good right now in terms of development, and we've talked about before from both housing perspective, but just also some, commercial and office development. This was put in the plan that we want to see additional development and eventually leading this to our, city square, main plaza. I think our office has gotten a few calls in the last few months, maybe of some more like legitimate interest in this and seeing what the next options are, and felt, in the spirit of fairness and transparency that, okay, if we are going to be looking at some of these, let's get the best option that's potentially out there, and see where we may be at, and come back, and I think staff will review. I think we've got a good team that's looked at this from a variety of perspectives. I think it's really important, Aaron's expertise bringing in that, again, this is going to be kind of a focal point building that in terms of form, function, style, that it really, is works in terms of what we're looking for. But yeah, I think we will get some quality proposals to sift through and make some recommendations.
What are some of the techniques you can use to promote advertising? To get the proposals, what are some of the techniques? I mean, are you get a website or that how you do it?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully we've got two media outlets here doing some free advertising for us, so
Good.
Appreciate that.
Good.
I think, in terms of contacting some of the developers that have talked to us already, letting them know of this proposal. I think now that we're not embarrassed to send people to our website to put some things up there. Sorry, Mike. It was a long time coming, right? Yeah, okay.
Mike's turning red.
Right, so, no.
I really felt bad.
Hats off to, him getting that done. But I also think, we've been putting it out there, and we'll put it out there in the development community. Sending it out to brokers and or developers, and there's some other things that we've gotten sorted. Just making it well known that, okay, we've talked about it, but now the time is ready for us. Including maybe reaching out to some developers outside of our immediate region.
Can someone just show me up there which part is going to be developed, which part is still going to be parking?
Yeah, so actually it would actually be the whole lot. If you can go back to the other image. Yeah, so this line, so basically there would be room for where this sidewalk is in front of the building. It would basically be this parking lot with the exception of the plaza. The plaza would stay, but yeah, wherever the parcel line goes out to the right of way.
Where are the 100 parking spaces going to be then?
Well, they could put in a parking structure there.
I see.
Part of the development.
A
Right.
parking structure, okay.
So I think part of the design consideration is to try and get some more street frontage, so maybe it, wraps around with some parking in the middle, maybe it's parking under, maybe it's
Okay.
decked parking.
Yep.
So it's not all gonna be surface,
Okay.
hopefully minimal surface.
That was
So one of the things that would be helpful to me when we get to this point is knowing what the occupancy is on that parking lot, maybe the peak and the average. We haven't done the development on top of the Cherry Street ramp yet, right?
Correct.
And that will impact parking as well.
That would take off the development, a floor of parking, like 100 stalls.
Yeah, so that's what's rattling around in my mind when we come to make this decision. Doing it on one side is one thing, but if we would have a combination of parking stall loss, how does that impact us?
Sure.
Just the other quick question is, this lot size relative to, say, what the Metro sits on? Smaller, larger?
It's larger.
It's larger, okay.
It's about, I haven't measured it exactly, but looking at it just from my point of view, it looks like twice as big, because this is 1.5 acres.
Okay.
I think Metro is just under, and acre.
Okay.
And the assessed value of the metro?
All in today, I think is, let me confirm, I think about 14 million.
14, 15, just somewhere, ballpark is
Yep,
fine.
yeah.
I'm just trying to get a sense in my head of what a relative property size is done. Okay.
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
It makes sense to do that. We'll move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion by Jim and Matt to approve a request for proposals for the purchase of redevelopment Adams Street lot located on 200 block of North Adams Street. I was gonna say, all those in favor, saying by saying aye, but we're gonna go in here, aren't we? Oop. All right.
So the results don't post on the screen.
I might hit the wrong button.
No.
Shoot. How
I
many
think
ads?
Gary just voted you off.
What happened here? I hit the wrong button.
We can work when we talked about this, when we go back to our quarters up on 6th floor, about the potential for having the ability to connect 2 laptops or a switch so we can go back and forth, so that when it's time to vote, we can show that up there. I think one of the things that's also important though is that it shows up when you vote, and I think it's in the interest of, I guess, influence that everyone should vote without necessarily, right, seeing each other's pop up as they vote. So everyone votes, and then the results would be showed up here.
Yeah, my only thought is if we aren't doing a voice vote, on a voice vote, you would know what each one of us
Right.
is leaning toward. So if we don't project it up, then we have to go back and rehash, how did you vote or how didn't you vote if there's a mix.
And that's the thing is, Lisa will be announcing if there's both yes and no votes, she would announce who the no votes or the yes votes are, whatever the minority is.
Okay,
So this motion passed unanimously.
Okay,
thank you.
all right. Next agenda item, consideration of possible action on development agreement with Neighborhood Works Green Bay for property located at 720 North Broadway, parcel number 5-75.
All right, that can be me.
All right, Ken.
How's it going today?
Right, thank you. We're tradable. We're tradable.
We haven't done
Right,
yet.
so 720 North Broadway, this parcel was purchased along with 503 South Ashland back in November as part of our neighborhood enhancement funds.
Not that property you're looking at.
No, correct.
That's what I was just gonna say.
That's
What
awesome.
are we doing with that?
We'll get to
Okay.
that,
We'll get to that.
Okay.
The picture of the original parcel is in your packet. It was a 3-family, just nuisance to the neighborhood property. We tore it down pretty much as soon as we got it, got the site back, and advertised it on our website for our New Homes in Your Neighborhood program. NeighborWorks Green Bay submitted a proposal for the site, and that is what you see up there. They're proposing to build on that site. That is actually located right across the street at 719 North Broadway. They built that last year and it is occupied now. They also have another similar build over at 308 South Quincy, same design, that will be coming online within a month this summer. And, yeah, so we are looking, they're looking to use the New Homes in Your Neighborhood program, the full grant of the $20,000 and the lot, alongside with the Adopt a Home program. So right now, we're still kind of working at that with NeighborWorks, seeing if we can get the whole project funded through that Adopt a Home program. But we would just like the option to have that $20,000 if we need it to make sure this project can be successful. Scott Scheineman from NeighborWorks is here if you want to talk about the project at all.
I think it's pretty clear. Where's that go? It's up to you if you think we need to open up the meeting. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't.
That's no, I think it's
Okay.
fine. It would look similar to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, different siding colors with the same design.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Maybe a different dormer in front, just to
Yeah.
change up because that'll be directly across the
Right,
street.
someone a little bit different, yeah.
Mhm.
What motion do we need?
Okay, motion to approve a development agreement with Neighborhood Works Committee made for property located at 720 North Parcel, Broadway, using $20,000 in neighborhood enhancement funds.
All right, move that.
Barb, and
Second.
Barb and Matt, first and second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Well, no, whatever, we're gonna do it. Except I'm not quite sure here I'm in the right spot.
I think no matter where you are, the vote will pop up.
Okay, all
Doesn't
right,
even-
all right. Oh, we got it. There we go. All right. So what was the verdict?
Passed unanimously.
All right, very good, thank you. All right. Next agenda item. Agenda item number 4, consideration of possible action on granting additional funds to Creative Edge Properties LLC and extending the timeline for rehab of 159 North Maple Avenue, parcel 4-111.
Ken's gonna handle that.
All right.
This property we brought before you on February, at the February RDA meeting, 159 North Maple, pictured up there. Creative Edge Properties is doing a full rehab of this property, converting it back from a multifamily to a single family to be marketed for sale to an owner occupant. Originally, we had granted $60,000 of neighborhood enhancement funds to rehab this property. There were some unexpected permit fees, some concrete costs, and then now new vinyl siding that have come up as they started the rehab here. So they're requesting an additional $12,000 of the neighborhood enhancement funds, as well as a 1-month extension on the project, and that was due to the unexpected snowstorm that we had. Kind of set them back a little bit. They do feel that they'll have it done before July 20th, but they just wanted that 1-month window just to make sure they have everything buttoned up before completion. Mason Tackmeyer is here from Creative Edge Properties, if you'd like to open the floor to speak with him about how the project is going. I included some pictures up here of where they're at with the rehab. As of last week, I believe, drywall is up.
Yeah, 2/3 of it is up as of today. So,
You're satisfied how it's going?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a complete transformation inside. Really utilizing all the spaces, kind of transforming that from, that what was a nuisance property just to something that's going to be great for that neighborhood.
And asking for this extra money, is this a typical thing, or is this something that?
It was something that, it was acceptable as, when we talked about it as staff, when they originally asked for the $60,000, that there might be some project overruns, so we were okay with it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
How are we funding this?
This is through the Neighborhood Enhancement Fund.
No, and just reading through the packet beforehand, all of what had happened, right, looked like very good faith, they were making good progress. Looked at the siding and said, well, we thought we could do patching, we think it's gonna be better and less maintenance if we go with the full vinyl. Made perfect sense. The driveway part was, hey, it was buried in snow, couldn't get a good look at it. So it all seemed, unless you're telling me something different, it all seemed like very good faith, they're making progress.
Yes,
On the
definitely.
project, they're really, right, they're moving along, pictures look great, so. I'm good.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to possible action granting additional funds to Creative Edge Properties LLC and extending timeline for rehab on parcel 4-111.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, Matt and Barb, and we shall be voting. The key, Ken, is that you're pleased with it, you feel it's going good. The key is that you're
Yes,
pleased.
yes, definitely. Yeah, it's looking great. There's a pretty good buzz in the neighborhood right now.
All right.
Motion passed unanimously.
Okay. Item number 5, consideration of possible action on the planning option with Creative Edge Properties, LLC, for property located at 1634 6th Street, parcel 6-475.
All
Good,
right.
Kenny, good?
Me as well,
Hey, you're
yes.
keeping busy, buddy.
Yes, that's the fun show today. Great, so this property at 1634 6th Street is located out near Military Avenue by Broadway Automotive. We purchased this in the fall of 2016 with neighborhood enhancement funds. We purchased it was a pretty good sized lot, kind of in an established neighborhood in a up and coming area there. We had it marketed on our website since we purchased it, and just recently through working with Creative Edge Properties on 159 North Maple, they had started looking at this site as a possible site for a new build. They're looking to do 6 townhomes on this site. Right now, one of the complications with the site is that there is no access directly to it. So either Birch Street or 6th Street would need to be completed in order to get frontage for the townhomes. So right now, we're working kind of to look at options for funding of the project to see how we can make this work out. So Creative Edge Properties is requesting the 4-month planning option so we can kind of put those pieces together. And also Mason is here if you want to talk about the project. I do have his proposal in the packet. There's kind of just a preliminary floor plan that they were looking at before they kind of wanted a direction from the RDA to see if they wanted to get full plans drawn up, so.
At the price mark, 150 to 200,000, that's the right price mark? I mean, that's where the action is?
I think it's somewhere in there, yes. Based on what we're looking at the Whitney townhomes,
And Navarino.
and Navarino as well,
Okay.
which we have a
Is
flyer
this
here
sheet for?
from
Is he
NeighborWorks,
able to-
if you want to see a comp. Yeah.
Oh,
So that's where those numbers fall in.
Okay.
This, we don't really have anything over in that neighborhood to
Okay.
compare, so
Okay.
we're not really sure where those numbers are gonna come in yet either, so that's a little bit more market research. But we feel confident about it. I think it's a beautiful site, and I think it creates another unique housing option in Green Bay.
And did you say, Ken, it was potentially connecting Birch Street?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, Birch is.
So
How would you do that?
Yeah.
Birch Street has been platted out here, so you connect Stony Brook and Mitchell.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So it's labeled there, it just hasn't been put in yet.
Oh, I see.
Yep, there's no street
So
there on that.
that would be the
Oh, I see.
ideal option, but it's gonna be a little bit more expensive to do that than connect.
Then just get 6th Street
6
through.
would have to
Okay.
come and then cul-de-sac. So this is probably the better option. And then also, the way they were, Creative Edge Properties was looking at doing the design is having decks over the back, over their garages, which would then kind of overlook this nature area if they were able to front on Birch Street.
Okay. And is that a creek that runs through that little wooded area?
Beaver Dam.
Yeah, it's Beaver
Okay.
Dam Creek.
So is there a stoplight on 6th and Military?
Yes.
And you said they're looking for some input from us?
Just before they get actual drawings, they
Oh.
want to know that they
Oh.
can get the planning option.
Okay.
Just before
Oh,
they
sure.
kind of put any more
That
money
makes
into
sense.
it, so.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think it's exciting. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Barb and Jim, all those in favor, saying by saying aye.
No,
And
we're
I'm
just
voting.
gonna
And
use our
voting. No, I'm not
fingers
used to
here.
that yet. Look at these.
Old dogs.
Yeah, right, exactly, exactly.
Lazier dog.
No, I didn't say lazy. Old dogs and tricks.
But no, I was counting me in the lazy.
Oh.
I'll just use my fingers. Okay.
Carried unanimously.
All right, very good. Item number 6.
All right, and this item we're actually going to hold until June,
Okay.
talking to the developer, not ready to go forward yet.
Okay.
Do you need a motion to hold it?
Do we need a motion to hold it?
Yeah.
I move to hold item 6 until our June meeting.
Second.
Barb and Nat, first and second, to hold for the June meeting.
This one you can do a voice vote.
Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. It's on hold till June. Number 7, consideration of possible action on planning option with Paul D. Mankey Photography for the property located at 1200 South Broadway, parcel 1-855.
So this property was purchased by the RDA in 2009 with neighborhood enhancement funds. We've been holding it and maintaining it since then. We've had, in this neighborhood, a few inquiries about our properties, looking for possible storage units, not really prime developments. Paul Mankey of Paul Mankey Photography had approached the city on this site where he would like to use it as a live-work unit. He would have first floor commercial space for his photography studio, and then he would live in the residential unit above. Right now, we're looking at a 60-day planning option as he's trying to kind of get the finances in order. The way he's looking to do it right now would be a phase build, where the first floor commercial would be, he wants to get that up and running prior to occupying the living unit, just so we can start getting that income in to then finish up the project. So for that reason, that's kind of why we're looking at the 60-day planning option, just to see, make sure we can get those finances in order. Paul was supposed to be here today, but he has not showed up yet. So, yeah, I guess it is, we're talking about it with staff, we're comfortable going forward.
Here he is now.
That's quite the time.
Yeah,
Perfect timing.
timing's everything.
There we go. Yeah. So, yes, Paul is here if you'd like to talk about the project. Do you want me to talk? Well,
Well, it's
we're gonna discuss it.
yeah, it's just a planning option, right?
Correct, yeah, so.
I don't think we need to open meeting, but if you want to, we will. Jim, do you think it's open? You don't? Okay. Then I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Barb and Jim, right? Barb and Jim, first and second. All those in favor? Take your tablets. We're getting closer, we're getting
Getting
closer.
closer, right.
Yeah, we got it.
We do it down.
Yeah, right. All right.
Passed unanimously.
Okay, very good. All right.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you. Passed.
Yeah, you passed. Timing is everybody good now? Informational.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Informational. Financial report and register. Now we're just going to place on file. Okay, we need a motion for that, right? Need a motion for that? Yes,
Tracy
we-
was proposed.
We need a motion to place on file the financial report and check register, which I have reviewed.
So moved.
Second?
Okay,
And that can be a voice vote.
okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Director's report and project updates. This should be interesting.
Always interesting.
It's always interesting, right?
So a few project updates. As you may have read, the Hotel Northland is continuing to move
exciting.
along. Spent a day in court last week where
It sounded like your
Judge...
testimony was brilliant.
Yes.
Thanks. Actually, Vanessa delivered the punch closing statement. It was
Good.
first time in court and not quite like Law and Order, but, a few moments like that.
You got all the publicity.
Okay,
Yes.
well, look,
As you should.
it was, a time that we, again, I think you understand that city staff has been fighting to move this project
Yep.
forward, and there was an opportunity to do so, and then the previous developer wasn't able to deliver on that, and here's an opportunity, to get that project moved forward. We have a solid, proposal in front of us with a new ownership group, that really enables the completion of the hotel and its operation. So I think we're very excited about having that team in place. They're actually on site this week, working on kind of, all right, here's the home stretch, the FF&E, what do we need to do in terms of, the final finishings, then working on things like staffing and programming and really rolling out this. All things seem to be on track. The construction should be finished this summer, and their target opening is still fall of this year. I think they're shooting for an October 1st
Good.
deadline. Of course, everyone would love to see that sooner, including them. But I think just in terms of, the inertia of getting that size of a facility up and running, it's gonna take a little time. But yes, that was a very good day in court, and that helps to get that project.
Congratulations on the milestone.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it'll be very exciting, and I think part of that goes back to something earlier we talked about. Just kind of in that area, another corner of downtown with moving on that project, but then what that means for the Bay Lake building, the Adams Street parking lot. There's been some vacancies on Adams Street, and just seeing that come to fruition, I think is really going to help us with marketing a number of those properties and getting them back on the
Yes.
tax rolls.
Yes, very exciting.
Other big project we've been talking about, so it's been 90 days since you gave us a charge on the shipyard.
Yes.
We have been working with a consultant on that. We've been working with Cunningham Group out of Minneapolis. We talked to 3 different firms, and then they're the ones who have felt delivered kind of the best value in terms of helping us to reconceptualize what we have there. I think we're very close to coming up with a product that really, in one sense, maintains the excitement and energy and public nature of what was discussed before, but in the same aspect takes it in a different direction and gives us something much more unique, much more appealing, I think, to a wider audience, and something that both the neighborhood and the community and you can get excited about. With that, we still want to iron out a few details in terms of just making sure that I think we have, things, fully, I don't know, we're doing our due diligence in terms of bringing that proposal back, but we hope to have that next month for you, and able to move forward. So whether that's at the regular meeting or because of its nature, a special meeting, I think we'll be ready to go and get that project back rolling again as well.
Good. Great news.
Yes. Just, I don't know if there's any other specific
East
projects.
Town?
East Town Mall, yes. So did have a talk with the developers earlier this month. And it sounds like they've got lined up, solidified one of the tenants, and we talked a little bit about this during the initial development agreement, so that can help put the other tenants in place or start putting together a package. But they anticipate having those locked up again, hopefully this summer, but for sure by the end of the year, so they can start working on construction, outfitting those build-out spaces for those tenants.
Real yard?
Rail yard, we are fleshing out the final details on the infrastructure, working with the developer, their engineers, on the street layouts, the construction of Kellogg, Donald Driver, Pond, the roundabout, and the other associated infrastructure. They have started working on the buildings R, S&T, primarily R, in terms of doing some of the build out there. And then once the infrastructure is in, they can start work on some of the townhomes. So they've made good progress there. And again, been kind of a funky spring, but they feel that they're still on track to keep going at some additional development this year.
Congratulations to you and your staff, you're doing a dynamite job.
Thanks.
Everything's moving.
Yeah, like I said, we got a good team in place, and we're rolling on a few things. I don't know if there's any other.
Actually, at our last meeting, we had the Newhall property that we told you that we had to offer on, we were closing on the 21st. We actually wanted to show you the color pictures of it,
Oh.
because you
Yeah.
just had the black and white ones before, so just so you could see the finished product when it was done. And it was sold. This is a property that we acquired with block grant.
And it's sold,
Yes,
Closing on the 21st.
closing on the 21st, so.
Beautiful floors.
We would have never guessed that when we went through it originally, but Kevin King was project manager there, and
Kevin.
did a great job.
That's one of the scarier properties I walked through when originally,
Yes. And then the Navarino townhomes are completed. There's an open house on Thursday, the 17th
I
of
have an
May.
invitation
Oh, okay.
already, and I have
I'll
to
take
leave
that.
and go.
Yay.
So, and I think they're all listed, and I think there's been a lot of activity on interest for these properties, so.
Excellent.
Jump.
Is there a lot of interest in the properties already?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
These were with home funds and neighborhood enhancement fund.
There are 5 units. One is funded with home. It needs to be, so for a qualified income person, and then the other ones are market.
Okay.
Just thought of two other things while I was here. One, block grant funding and home funding.
Right.
Federal government went on from one end of the pendulum to chopping everything to the other end of the pendulum, and we're actually receiving more funds than we did last year.
Wow.
We'll be working on our annual action plan, and we hope to bring that to you next month.
Yeah.
So we'll be working to put that together, and just how we plan to allocate our block grant funds, home funds for the upcoming year. The other financial piece, I know Chair Devo, we've talked a little bit about our tax increment districts.
Yes,
And,
yes.
So per state statute, we're going to have our annual JRB meeting this summer. But I think per our discussion last year, to have a little more comprehensive overview and projections than what the state requires you to report doesn't always paint the picture well in terms of it puts all your liabilities, but really doesn't talk about your increment. So to talk about those a little bit more with the Redevelopment Authority,
Good.
and if there's opportunity, again, I think we've talked, last year about some new tax increment districts, one for Whitney School, another for the shipyard,
Right.
and then potentially an I-43 expansion. But then we also need to talk about timetables for the existing I-43 TID, or if there's other ones that look that we can close down
Good.
earlier, and where those things might be.
Just
So-
make sure that Jim's at the meeting.
Yeah, on-
Yes.
on that topic too, we had talked about having projections,
Yes.
and that's what, I assume what you intend to do.
To work on, because the initial, where you're required to report for the state is basically
Yeah.
you put out all your liabilities,
Yeah.
but it doesn't allow you to project out, it only allows you to project out your increment for your current calendar year, and it doesn't allow you to carry that forward.
To the end.
So it looks like every TID is in the hole,
Yeah.
millions of dollars, which
Right.
doesn't reflect. So I think to show,
Good, good.
and again, I think we've talked about these last few years, there were a lot of development agreements, but it's not until really kind of 1/1 of 17 and 1/1 of 18 until a lot of those projects have come
Mhm.
online that
Mhm.
showed us, making the
Right.
increment in those districts. I think to
That'll
reflect
be
that.
helpful.
Yep.
What month do you think you're gonna do that?
Probably next month.
Oh, June, oh,
Yep.
you're a busy month,
Yep.
you're a busy meeting. That's
Yes, we
good.
will.
So
Alright.
what is a GRB meeting?
JRB, so it's our joint review board. So
Okay.
that's the representative from city, county, school district, and
I know
tech.
now.
Yep.
I thought you said GRB.
Oh, I'm
so-
sorry, JRB, yes.
I didn't-
So on the block grant, are we gonna have a funding subcommittee meeting then?
Oh.
Because ordinarily, we have done that at the subcommittee level and then
Right.
made a recommendation to this body.
Yes, we will. I just don't know what date yet, but we'll be reaching out.
Right.
So it'll be before our June meeting then. Okay.
We've got a lot coming down.
Yeah, I
I know
see
it's
that.
summer, we have to have a
That's,
second meeting.
that's okay. We'll do it
June, if you
our-
guys are okay with that.
Oh, yeah, we'll do
Make
it
it
our-
fun.
Okay, so are we gonna do some more civic clerk training after this meeting?
If you're willing, all I would probably do is just show the videos that you may have currently viewed. If you have any questions, any other questions, I'm willing to stick around for that.
Before that, though, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Marvin, Matt?
Do you have to receive and place the director?
Do we have to go ahead?
Oh.
Oh, yes.
No.
You want a motion to receive and place?
No, you don't
No,
have
we
to.
don't.
Okay. Before we adjourn,
Yeah, just wanted to mention, I'm sure everyone's been invited to the State of the City address tomorrow, 5 at the Meyer Theater. The after party is at the Creamery in the Watermark. So nice opportunity to see a nearby operation on the city deck. So that's at the Creamery following the State of the City address.
great, yes, I intend to be there. Excellent. Okay, motion by Barb and Matt to adjourn. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
I didn't have to do that one.
We don't have to do that.
Right, so we don't.
We'll get used to this, we'll get it.
No, that's-
We're all trainable.
You might-
I've got
Yes, here.
Did I not sign on the bottom? There's the latest.
No, these are the bank.